So what kind of squad is this? The real estate squad? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you yet another example of liberal Democrat hypocrisy. And I understand it's kind of redundant to say liberal Democrat hypocrisy. They kind of go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly, hot dogs and hamburgers on Independence Day. I understand, but this story is too good to just dismiss as regular liberal Democrat hypocrisy. You guys may know who the squad is, and if you don't know, I'll give you a brief rundown. The squad are a group of 4 women, super woke, who push really so-called progressive, far leftist ideology. And they include AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's the de facto ringleader. You also have Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib. This particular story is about the last 2 rather than the first, although they're all kind of involved in their own way. Let's start from the top. We all know what the eviction moratorium is at this particular point in time. I've done quite a few videos on it, but if you've not watched those videos or you need a quick refresher, the eviction moratorium was the thing that the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, was able to decree. Not really sure how they were able to do that, because did you elect the CDC? Did you elect the leader of the CDC, Rochelle Walensky? I didn't, but for now, I digress. They were able to decree the eviction moratorium that prevented landlords from evicting tenants because of the pandemic. People lost their jobs. They don't have any money, so you can't evict anybody. And the reason why you can't evict someone is because the court may not be open. The court may not accept it, because you can't just throw somebody out. It's got to be a court process, and you got to, do things the legal way. But if there's no court process to go through, if the court process is being blocked, then you can't evict. This resulted in quite a bit of squatting. I'm talking about not just, for a brief period of time, a month or 2, 3 months. We're talking about 6 months, a year. I saw a case in Brooklyn, New York, where a man, black man, by the way, so I don't want to hear, oh, it's about racism. I don't want to hear that. He has a 2-family row house in Brooklyn. The tenant has been there since 2019, not paying rent, owes $65,000 in rent, has not given a landlord a dime, but somehow he was able to have a sub-leaser paying rent to the renter, but the renter did not give any money to the landlord from the sub-leaser. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And there are stories just like that all over the U.S. And the squad, who I mentioned earlier, are big proponents of, quote unquote, canceling rent. They wanted to pass a bill to legislate to cancel rent nationwide. The CDC thing was not actual legislation. It was just, a decree. They said, okay, no more rent. That expired on July 31st and has not been extended, at least not from the federales. On the state level it has, but not from the federales. However, a lot of states have extended it, thanks in large part to people like the squad advocating for canceling rent, no more rent throughout the entirety of this pandemic. And who knows how long it's going to be. Is it going to be 2 weeks, 2 more weeks, 2 more months, 2 more years, 2 more decades, 200 more years? Who knows? However, we got to get to the hypocrisy here. Rashida Tlaib and Ayanna Pressley both disclosed that they had like a total of $50,000 between the 2 of them in rental property income in 2020. Okay. Now, Ayanna Pressley's husband has a house in Boston that they rent out. And Rashida Tlaib, I think she may own it, or her husband or somebody. They have rental property in Detroit. So you got 2 big city landlords getting money from their tenants, but they want to tell you to cancel rent. So just a regular everyday normie that does not have the ability to go out there to Washington, D.C. and fundraise and get all this campaign money, allegedly funneled back to them. To speak about Ilhan Omar right quick, this is what she does. This is why they can kind of like throw their rental money, their rental properties aside to a certain extent, or sell it and cash out and still get money. Here's what Ilhan Omar does. She was married allegedly to her brother for immigration purposes. She was also married through the Islamic faith to her actual husband that she has kids with. She's been divorced from both of those situations. She's not legally married or Islamic tradition married, but she is married because she got married again after those two things were dissolved to this white man by the name of Tim Minette. And the reason why I point out his race is because the squad are some of the same ones that say white men are the biggest terror threat in the U.S. Meanwhile, you laid up with a white man, not just Ilhan Omar, who's from Somalia, but also Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's Puerto Rican. But I won't go down that road, so I digress. The whole point is that Ilhan Omar is married to this guy by the name of Tim Minette, who was a consultant. And before she got married to him, she was giving him a lot of her campaign money to do just, I'm not sure what kind of tasks she had the guy doing. But according to a report, 70% of her campaign money went to him. Then she gets married to him. So do you think that all of that money is just going toward expenses, is going toward the business, and there's no profit? Is that what you think? What kind of consultant would you be with a high-profile client like Ilhan Omar and not make a profit? Why would you work for free? Obviously, he's not. And that profit is going back to the household they share together. That's how these kind of things work. Now, sometimes the consultant is just purely them. If you're dealing with a low-level guy or girl, the consultant is obviously them, and they just funnel the money that way, allegedly. But the whole point is they can afford to say, hey, cancel rent and paint landlords as some kind of, some kind of leech upon society, some kind of immoral thing while they collect rent money. Because if the rent gets quote unquote canceled, they have other means to make money. They know that real estate is a way to, to store your wealth, to increase your wealth. They know that cash to a certain extent is trash and you want to invest it properly. Real estate is a great way to go. They know that. Like these people that have money, they understand what you got to do to be able to make it. They know that having a high minimum wage is not going to work out well because all it's going to do is just increase the cost of goods and services, but they're going to sell you that dream. They're going to say, hey, fight for 15, cancel the rent. Meanwhile, they don't want to pay minimum wage. They'll have quote unquote interns that don't get paid anything. They have the family members come on and get paid next to nothing. They'll tell you cancel the rent. Rent is bad. Landlords are bad. Landlords are evil. Meanwhile, they're landlords. Like I said, what kind of squad is this? The real estate squad? I've not seen anything from AOC or Ilhan Omar that says that they own real estate, but if they did, I wouldn't be surprised. Same thing with your BLM, Patrice Cullors, talking about, I'm a communist, I'm a socialist, private property is not really a good thing, all this and that. And the third, yet you have a whole real estate portfolio worth like $3.2 million. Okay. These people are charlatans, all of them. Sean King, another one, talking about black man this, black man that, white man holding me down. Meanwhile, you got like $1 million house in Jersey and then had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to put up a GoFundMe trying to get some monies to leave your house because your address got public. I mean, come on. You're a celebrity, right? You getting money, right? You are involved in the quote unquote game that come with it, right? I'm not saying it's right, but you involved with it. Don't be involved with this game. Don't get money in kind of an illicit way, although not necessarily illegal. I would say that it's more about, unethical, maybe even a little bit immoral. You're getting money, so take what comes with it. And these people, you got to understand as I close, these people aren't really serious. If they're serious about canceling the rent, defunding the police, then they wouldn't have private security. Ain't that right, Ayanna Presley? Ain't that right, Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashida Tlaib? Ain't that right? You guys talking about all these things that you don't do. Cancel the rent, you got a whole real estate portfolio. Defund the police, you get private security. All of them are the exact same way. So I implore everyone out there who may kind of be buying into what they're selling, please don't do it because they don't do that themselves. They think that you're ignorant. You won't take any time to do any kind of research, any kind of thinking for yourself. You just take whatever they say, hook, line, and sinker. Don't be a fish in the pond. Use your brain as a human being should. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the squad being the real estate squad, the private security squad, the big money squad, all the while talking about how bad big money is, how bad rent is, how bad the police are? I mean, it's so dumb. It's so obviously hypocritical, but who's going to call them out on it? Will the mainstream media do it? No. It'll take us here on the internets and on alternative media platforms to do it. And hopefully somebody sees this that may follow them and wakes up and says, you know what? What that man said on the internet, that was right. That made sense to me. Why am I buying into what they're saying when they don't even buy into it? They're talking about canceling the rent. Meanwhile, they pocketing rent money. They hold landlords themselves. How does that make any sense? But again, as I said from the very beginning, liberal Democrats and hypocrisy go hand in hand. Peanut butter and jelly, hot dogs and hamburgers and whatnot on Independence Day, fireworks on Independence Day, is all together. So anytime you see them on television talking about a certain thing that they want you to do, ask yourself, would they do it themselves? Maybe, maybe not. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.